Americans are leaving organized religion in record numbers. There are more people today that are religiously unaffiliated in the US than ever before. And this dates back to the 1980s, where a few different polls using similar but varying methodologies came to the same conclusion, which is that people who don't identify with any particular religious label are on the rise, even doubling during the time frame dating back to 1980s. Agnostics, atheists, secular humanists, general humanists, even deists who believe in a God, but not as part of a particular religion, have been increasing drastically. And we can't really say that this is non-believers, although non-believers have been increasing significantly. But deists and some of these other individuals still have faith or spirituality in some sense or another. There's a 2012 Pew study which said that around 30% of the people who believe in God or a universal spirit and 20% who still pray every day are not considering themselves part of a religion. If you say, "Are you a Christian?" they would say no, but they might still pray every day and have a kind of spiritual or deistic point of view. However, the none of the above checkbox is increasingly being checked. Last year, for the first time, Protestants were no longer the majority response in an annual report on religion in America. They made up 47% of those surveyed. The religiously unaffiliated came in at 22%. They tied American Catholics. So you say, well, Catholics around 22%, yes, and those who consider themselves unaffiliated are also at 22%. And the study also found that there are 15 states where the unaffiliated constitute the second largest group. Still, Christianity, Protestantism dominates in the United States. It's interesting to me to think about this, Lewis, because on the one hand, we see that the number of non-religious individuals is going up year after year after year. However, religion wields huge power in the US. A presidential candidate who says, "I am an atheist," is going to have a really, really tough time. That's going to be very difficult. We have questions asked of presidential candidates. What's your favorite Bible verse, for example? There's a huge distrust towards atheists, similar to the distrust of rapists, according to one study that we talked about. We would seem to think that as the unaffiliated non-religious goes up, those questions would matter less, but that's not happening.
Well, I think that's going to take a while. We still have a Congress full of religious people, and we still have religious people running all the time. I mean, it could be a good 20 years before we start seeing people who openly call themselves atheists in office.
And don't forget, Lewis, also that when we look at the concentration of money that is bundled by religious groups and religious individuals to push specific issues, political issues, that also is why religion has a huge impact.
And so I'd like to think that as time goes on and religion, organized religion, becomes less prevalent, that because they don't have the money coming in, that their influence will dwindle. And I hope that's what happens.
We have a fantastic bonus show for you today. We'll talk about new Japanese legislation that seeks to require individuals to have days off from work. The overwork situation in Japan has really gotten out of control. Also, David Petraeus has pled guilty, will plead guilty. We will talk about that and much more on the bonus show. DavidPakman.com/membership to sign up.